On Sunday morning, a team from the Gang Suppression Unit raided 3 houses in San Jose Village in the Orange Walk district. GSU officers told them that they were there to search for drugs, ammunition, and firearms. The families were startled because they say this is the first time they have been searched by law enforcement authorities. The visit from the GSU was not a nice one, according to the families. They say that the raid on their houses was a political move. Today, Emerita Pinckney recounted how the raid on her house unfolded.
Sunday morning, by around 4 to 5 a.m., the GSU come to our house and they broke down the door and they got in like animals. They got in like animals and then they broke our window where we sleep. We have 2 little daughters. And then when they broke the window, I shouted to them, please don't break the window. I have 2 little girls. They could be hurt. And then they still broke the window. And then they get in and then they told us make we go to the floor. And we do it because as we told them, we don't have nothing to esconder, to hide. We don't have no weapons, no guns, no drugs, and they still get in, as I told you, like animals, because they are not people. The way they treat us, we don't have no problem with nobody. And my husband told them, we know that you were coming, and days before we have to sleep somewhere else. When we have our house where we could sleep every night, we don't have the need to go somewhere else. And then, and that night, I told my husband, I will not go nowhere because I have my house, my bed. So I don't have no need to go nowhere because we don't own nobody.
Are you afraid that they would come back again and maybe try to plant something here?
Yes, we are afraid. The same morning, we make everybody, because we have people working here, make the check all over the yard, and we don't find nothing, but I am afraid. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm afraid, and we are planning not to sleep at home, but as I told you, we don't have to go somewhere else when I have my home, my bed. I don't have to go somewhere else and sleep. I will not sleep good. My children have to be sleeping somewhere else, and I'm afraid. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm afraid.
From there, GSU officers headed to the Tech and My families in the same village. The families were told the same thing, that the officers were there to search for drugs, firearms, and ammunitions. Like the raid on Pinckney's house, the Tech and My family's experience was horrible. They also told us what happened.
Llegaron como 4:30 para 5 de la mañana. Realmente no sé la hora exacta, ¿no?
I heard my dogs barking. I opened my window. They were trying to come inside my house. They told me to not move and put my hands towards the window. They kept trying to break down the door so many times. They told me to open the door, and I told them that I can't because they told me not to move. So they said to tell my wife to open the door. At this time, they were still banging, trying to break down the door for some reason. So they told me that they needed to do a search. I told them, go ahead. But I didn't see any warrant for them to conduct the search. One of them went to the back while the other began searching around the house, breaking every single thing they could break.
Y me dijeron que quiere que acompañe a uno para que él haga el registro.
Before leaving the Orange Walk district, we spoke to Ramon Monchi Cervantes Jr. on the raids that officers of the Gang Suppression Unit carried out at the homes of his supporters. Cervantes condemned the act, saying his political opponent is now feeling pressured by the number of people who are now supporting the People's United Party.
I see it as a political revenge. Those 2 families were very strong UDP families, and they made the switch. They came over to PUP, and not only have they pledged their support for my candidacy and for the PUP, but they have also been very active in writing up these signs that you see in the yard and placing them in the yards of people and putting it up on the lampposts, and they have been very active campaigning for my candidacy.
The commander of the JSU, Mark Flowers, has said that he had received information that these families had firearms. That is the reason they came in. Do you believe that?
I don't believe it. As a matter of fact, one of the people that were raided, whose homes were raided, claimed that he had already been tipped off that the GSU would come and raid his house and try to plant a gun in his home. And apparently he heard it from one of his family members that is still a UDP, who said he was told by a minister.
Do you feel that this, because the family believe that it's Cape Vega who sent the GSU?
I can't say that for sure. I don't know for sure who it is personally that sent it. But I will say that, in speaking to those people, they have made comments, for example, that during the raid, they were one of the officers were called and answered the phone and mentioned that, they are doing the raid as they speak. Others have commented that, like a lady, I think it was, they asked her, how much she was paid to put up a PUP sign. And they were asking politically related questions. The GSU officers were asking these people politically related questions.
Do you feel that your opponent is being politically pressured and specifically intimidated by you and your candidacy here in Orange Rock North?
I think he's being pressured and probably intimidated by the power of the people.
Before the Gang Suppression Unit carried out their raids on the three houses, the day before, a fight between supporters of both major political parties in San Jose Village was caught on camera. The video shows party supporters of the PUP and UDP attacking each other, and so today we asked Cervantes Jr. if he expects the hostility between party supporters to increase as November 4th gets closer.
As I understand, two of my supporters were coming out and they were attacked by the neighbors who were painting UDP signs. One of them was hit with a stick on his little above his wrist, and the other one was stabbed with a nail that was on a piece of stick, and that is, and they broke his windshield also, and that is where also the crowd, all they were doing were going to put up signs, and that is where it started. I can't say I didn't see a lot of the things from.
You've seen the video?
Honestly, no.
I believe the video shows one of the PUP supporters hitting one of the UDP supporters with a stick.
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it, but as far as I know, they are the ones that started it. I would have to see it to make an assessment of it.
Would you say that the political climate here in Orange Rock North is getting hostile?
Yeah, it's getting hostile. However, the government side has seen that our people will stand up and fight back. We will stand up and fight back.
So it's something that you condone?
No, I don't condone it.
Would you advise them to maybe step back if they don't face any physical confrontation with any of the opposing party?
I did that on Saturday, sir, because one of the guys called me and said, this is how this thing is getting. That was around 4:30. And I told him, and he asked me, he said, what do you want me to do? And I told him, I said, you guys have made your point. You have stood up. You have they have seen that they just can't walk over us. No, let's retreat. That's what I told them. And that is really why it dissipated, because we backed off.
We understand that no police report was filed regarding the fight between political fanatics of both parties.